Did you get it?
These 5 words saved me, and it'll do the same for you. Now, when I first got started in this industry of online marketing, affiliate marketing, and at that time it was network marketing, I didn't know what I needed to know in order to become successful. But I'm going to share with you the 5 words that actually saved me, that changed the way my business was going. So, the 5 words that saved me was this: you are not investing enough. Now, when it comes to investing, there's different type of investments you can make. You can make an investment in time, energy, and financial investments. Now, if you want to be successful in your online business, you're going to have to make all of these investments. And I know you don't want to make all of the investments. Everybody gets in the online space and they say, hey, can I get that for free? Can I not have to spend any money? But let me ask you this question, because there's specific questions that you have in your own mind currently, and you don't know the answer to it. And that's why you're stuck in the same position with your business each and every day. It is not changing. So check this out. So your question is, how do I earn 6 figures? Well, my answer to that question is charge what a 6-figure earner charges. Simple enough. So if you want to earn something, go to the places or find out from the people that are actually earning the income that you want and learn, what do they charge? What is it that they're charging? And actually duplicate that process. Charge what a 6-figure earner charges. Okay, so now you know the basic principle. Now the second question that comes to your mind is this: what do I sell? Now, the answer to that question of what do I sell, that answer is pretty simple also. You sell what a 6-figure earner sells. Now, both of those questions and answers might be pretty simple, but this is where a lot of entrepreneurs fail, because the answers is clear, but then the method of how to actually make this work gets a little cloudy, because you, in your mind, you feel as though you're supposed to get everything for free. And in your, current mindset of thinking that it should be free or should be cheap, you shouldn't have to pay a premium price. You're conveying that message to your particular audience, and your audience is feeling the same thing. They want things for free also, and they think that things should be cheap. So these 5 words, once again, maybe they might help you a little bit better now. You are not investing enough. Now, what that means is you already know that you need to charge what a 6-figure earner charges. You need to sell what a 6-figure earner sells. But in order to know how to put that together, is that you need to invest in the products that a 6-figure earner sells, so that you know the value and what a 6-figure earner's product feels like. Because your next step is you need to either be able to sell that 6-figure product through your personal experience of using it, or you need to recreate your own, you know, type of 6-figure product that models what you've experienced with this particular product that you have invested in. So you can't sell what you don't have access to, and you don't know what's valuable enough to a target audience until that value is instilled in you. So if you've ever paid $3,000 for a coaching course and you've been in masterminds and you've experienced that, maybe you've gone to a couple of masterminds, maybe you attend masterminds on a daily basis. If you know that you invested $3,000 into that and that's the standard value of it, then now you know what it consists of. It's on you to either create your own mastermind that either matches or goes beyond the mastermind that you currently attend, so that you have the confidence to know that what you have to offer is actually worth that premium price. And once when you have the confidence, then you can convey that message to your target audience, and they'll understand why they should also invest that premium price to be part of your mastermind. So you have to put all the pieces together. And the most valuable thing that you can do is start investing more. Because currently you are not investing enough. Now, if you are only willing to spend or invest $7 into a $7 product, how many of those $7 products would you have to sell in order to become a six-figure earner? That's the question that you need to ask yourself. Because right now, if you only purchase that $7 product, then all you have to reference is the value of something that costs $7. And you don't know where to go from there. But imagine you invested $5,000. Wouldn't it make it easier knowing what that $5,000 product feels like? Wouldn't it make it easier for you to be able to sell that $5,000 product and be able to get on that road to become a six-figure earner even faster? So with that, I hope these 5 words is going to help save you. It's not going to happen overnight, but if you take action today and get started learning the foundational skills, it can one day change your life forever. So if you're interested in getting started, I want you to comment hustle, and I'll send you access to an exclusive training that will get you started on the right path. See you on the inside.
Freedom ain't the weekend. It's a mindset. It's that moment you realize your time is the real currency. We don't clock out. We cash in on purpose. Welcome to Freedom Friday. Start with vision, Friday end with proof. I ain't built no luck, I built the truth. 17 weeks, no breaks, no flinch. Consistency, my cloth, can't tear an inch. The grind feels sacred when you know your lane. Turn struggle to syllabus, pressure to gain. I used to chase weekends, now I own my days. Design my time, redefine pay. Boss of my rhythm, freedom in sight. Every scroll I wrote got another so right. They talk hustle, but they miss the plan. Work for peace, that's the real demand. From the live to the link to the legacy taught. I ain't sold out, I sold thoughts that bought. Every small trickle now flows like rain. Freedom Friday, I broke those chains.
It's Freedom Friday, we made it through the grind. Oh yeah, time to free your peace of mind. Let go that fear, we rise and strive. Strong are we rise.
I earn my rest cause I earn my grind. Peace ain't cheap when you bought your time. Every no I heard was a lesson taught. Every delay was a seed I bought. From comment credits to crowns of faith. Freedom Friday ain't a date, it's a state. Made discipline sexy, consistency cool. I ain't follow they trend, I rewrote the rule. Hustleberry sing the souls back home, while I talk numbers on a microphone. Edutainment the vibe, we built this bridge. Music meet money on the same bridge. Friday ain't weak, it's strong by design. Freedom the fruit of a disciplined mind. Celebrate now, we ain't done by far. We ain't chasing weekends, we chasing stars.
It's Freedom Friday. We made it through the grind. Oh yeah. Time to free your peace of mind. Let go that fear. We rise and strive. Strong all week now.
They say the grind don't sleep, I let peace work shift. I ain't burnt out, I refine my gift. Scroll after scroll, turn story to seed. Now faith pay interest on everything I lead. I ain't waiting on Friday to feel alive. Every day now got that freedom vibe. No clock in, no boss tone calling. Self-made CEO of my morning. Used to measure worth by the payday sums. Now I measure peace by how calm I become. From dark weeks to bright ends we grow. Freedom ain't luck, it's what we know. Built my legacy off discipline, say. Now every Friday feels like heaven's pay. Hustle bear, legendary harmonize. Freedom Friday, we monetize the rise.
It's Freedom Friday. We made it through the grind. Oh yeah. Time to free your peace of mind. Strong all week now. Watch us fly. It's Freedom Friday. We built this we built this life. We built this life.
At 2:13 in the morning, Lena found the only motel for 50 miles. The clerk, Zaidan Malik, seemed to be waiting for her. He slid a brass key across the desk and warned her never to open the door after the third knock. The key said room 9. But outside, the motel only had 8 rooms. Inside, the television showed Lena asleep in the bed while she was still standing beside it. Then came the first knock. The mirror smiled before she did. The second knock opened a hole behind the wall, filled with photographs of missing travelers. Before the third, Lena ran. The hallway stretched farther with every step, and something crawled across the ceiling behind her. She reached the lobby, where her name was writing itself into a ledger dated 100 years earlier. At sunrise, Lena woke beside the highway. Hollow Creek had burned down in 1926, but the brass key was still in her hand. And in a puddle beside the ruins, Zaidan switched on the vacancy sign. Room 9 had found its next guest.
Went on YouTube, I researched everything. I added myself to every free webinar. I mean, literally, every moment I had, I soaked it up with free shit. So that's how I started. And I started with blogging. It is not for me, came to find out. I learned a lot. ChatGPT was my coach, 1000%. It taught me how to do websites and HTML coding, which me, being a hairdresser, does not know anything about coding, let alone building a damn website. But yeah, that was my journey. And then I started Pinterest. Then I started knowing about OSP. So that was my journey.
Wow. So that is interesting. That's very interesting that you said you started out with blogging.
I give you food for action, don't choke on the truth. This lesson I prepare was made just for you. Feast up, I keep serving till the pot run dry. Got enough cooking to feed the whole country, no lie. Too many flavors, you know, I got what you like. Don't start beefing with me, you won't win this fight. If you come in peace, keep your teeth intact. I got could be sweet. If you listen, you'll see. Food for action on a platter, served fresh by me. I'm serving knowledge on plates, got the recipe down. A blend of hustle and wisdom, that's my sound. I'm feeding the masses, no crumbs, full course. But if you bring nothing to the table, find the door. Stop acting like you got beef, it won't taste right. This flavor's reserved for those ready.
Okay, family, we are live. We are live. And once again, I want to welcome you guys back to another episode of the Hustlers 10-Minute a Day Challenge. Today is Strong 61, day 5, and we are right at 16 minutes into today's challenge. So let's get this started. Let's peel back that curtain, and I'm excited. I'm excited today. I'm excited because it's another Friday. It's another Freedom Friday. And you know, I often say, well, I say this to myself. It seems like Saturday and Sunday goes by pretty fast. We wait so long for the week to end, right? We wait so long for Friday to come, and we look forward to having those, 2 days kind of free, right? But then in no time, you're looking at your watch, you're looking at the clock, and it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon before you know it. And you're looking at that time, and then depending on what time of the year it is, when it's, like summertime like it is now, it gets dark a little bit later. So you're looking outside at 4 o'clock and you're saying to yourself, okay, seems like it's still light outside. It's a pretty good time. The next thing you know, 8 o'clock rolls around. And you don't even really notice it because the sun is just starting to go down, really, right? It's starting to get dark out. And you're thinking, okay, I still got a little bit, the day isn't over until you look at the clock and you say, damn, it's 8 o'clock already. And then you say to yourself, man, it's almost time for bed, depending on what time you go to sleep. Some people, I know a lot of people, they stay up all night long. But at that point, you're saying to yourself, man, the day is over. I don't want it to end because, okay, it's Friday. If I go to sleep now, that time throughout the night, that's going to go really fast. Next thing you know, Saturday morning will be here. And you start the process all over again. A lot of us, we try to get up a little earlier on a Saturday, dependent. Or some people like to sleep in a little bit. Now, for the people that like to sleep in, that like to, catch up on their rest, they wake up Saturday morning, the sun is out, it's bright outside, and then they look at the time, and it's 10 o'clock, it's 10 a.m. And you're like, damn, the morning is almost over. There's only 2 more hours left until it's the afternoon. And that cycle continues on, right? And next thing you know, it's Sunday night. And that's when things start to settle in. You're like, it's Sunday night. Man, what did I do this weekend? How did this weekend go so fast? And then you start thinking about having a return. Now, I don't want you to get in that mindset right now because I know that could get a little depressing to a lot of people. You don't want to think about the end of the weekend, that Saturday and Sunday. So we're going to do something today that we've been doing for the last couple of weeks. We're going to buy back more of our time. We want to give ourselves as much time on this Freedom Friday as possible. And just like we did in the previous couple of Fridays, I've joined in with you because, of course, I want to buy back my time also. I want to be able to enjoy my time and get back as much as that time freedom as possible. I don't want my day to end. I don't want the hours to slip by and go by and it just end up being nighttime or 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. and it just creeps up on me. So the way we do that is we we have leverage systems. And that's one of the most valuable things that you can have. You have to build a leverage system that will allow you to take back and acquire some of the most valuable assets that you will ever have. And that is your time. You want to have time to be able to enjoy it doing the things that you like and love to do. Now, I like and love and enjoy being with you guys each and every Monday through Friday here within the Hustleverse for the Hustlers 10-minute a day challenge. That's something that I love and enjoy. But I also like to continue doing the work after the camera turns off. So, what we're going to do right now is I'm going to, you know, buy back some of my time. I'm going to use the leverage systems that I have in place, the same type of leverage systems you can get access to also. But the one thing about it is, you might not know exactly how to go about structuring them. You might not have the foundational skill sets needed in order to start, putting these leverage systems into place. So that's why you're here in the Hustleverse. Because what we do is we help you find clarity in what can be a very unclear, environment. The online space is very challenging, especially when you're trying to build a successful business. You go through so many trials and errors, and you continuously go through trials and errors. Problem with that is a lot of people don't know the right answers. What is it that I should really be trying next in order to, make this thing work? Am I going to always go through trial and error? How long am I going to, consistently do this without having the results that I want? Well, the answer to that is just like in that beginning intro training. There's questions that you have to ask yourself, and there's often simple answers. The simple answer to that question is you have to go through it as long as it takes. But to shorten that route, you need to connect with like minded people that are also going on your journey, but not just going on the journey, but you need to connect and partner with people that are 10 to 20 steps ahead of you on that journey because they've seen some things within those 10 to 20 steps. They've had their own challenges and they know what it is to go through that, right? They've made the investment. They've made the time investment. They've made the, you know, physical investment, and they've made the financial investment. And these are the things that's going to help you shorten that time frame. Connecting with these people so that you can learn what were their mistakes during this time frame, during those 10 to 20 steps. What did they do wrong? What could have been done better? And how you can actually avoid the same pitfalls. So that's why we have this right here. What I consider to be the second line in the most valuable document in all of online marketing. This right here gives you access to the foundational tools, the blueprint, in order to help you avoid a lot of those pitfalls and to shorten up that learning curve so that you don't have to experience all of the trials and tribulations that normally come with someone who's building an online business. You don't have to experience all of the pain. But if you're right at step 9 and you've been doing it by yourself all this time, then step 10, step 10 is going to have something waiting for you, something that might come as a surprise to you, something that might be a challenge that you don't know how to overcome. But somebody that's already on step 20, they've seen what step 10 has to offer. and they can help you avoid the problem. So that's what you need to do, right? Get access. Start by clicking this magical link right here so you can get access to your foundational tools. Make the proper investments so that you know what level and what place fits best for you so that you know how to recreate that success system. Now, with that, I'm going to activate my leverage system. So, part of my leverage system, a major part of my leverage system, is my amazing business partners, the AI. Sometimes it's just one AI member, they do a lot of the heavy lifting. And sometimes we have our team of AI business partners, you know, and they do a lot of the heavy lifting together. They bounce back and forth off of each other, and they do it in a creative way. So we have our AI partners that present information in a creative podcast style, which podcasting is very popular. And it's very informational, and it can help people get that needed clarity in order to build a better business or whatever it is that they're trying to build in their lives. So we combine our ability to have our business partners, the AI, and things that are currently popular in order to, create a system, a leverage system that everybody can enjoy. So this one right here, this podcast episode hosted by two of my business partners, the AI, this one is called Your Morals Are the Ultimate AI Algorithm. So I want you to enjoy this episode and get all of the value you can out of it so that your Freedom Friday can be as enjoyable as possible. And that time spent will be worth it. So this one right here is right at about 20 minutes long. So enjoy it. And once again, I appreciate you joining me within the Hustleverse for the Hustlers 10-minute a day challenge. I look forward to seeing you, throughout the weekend so we can continue on this journey. And I look forward to seeing you in the start of the next strong. So with that, let's get to this podcast episode. Then we're going to close out as usual. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.
You know that feeling when you are staring down a massive high stakes decision, like maybe pivoting your entire business model or adopting some controversial new software or even just deciding who to partner with?
Oh, absolutely. It is exhausting.
Right. Have you ever wished you had the superpower to just, I don't know, hit fast forward, to look 5 years down the line, see exactly what happens if you take a specific path and completely bypass the potholes that would have, wrecked your progress?
Oh, that is the ultimate fantasy because, let's be real, the modern business landscape is just brutally unforgiving right now.
Yeah.
When you're standing at a critical intersection, the cost of a wrong turn isn't just a bruised ego anymore. It is lost capital, wasted years, and sometimes irreparable damage to your reputation. People want a map, but mostly they just want a guarantee.
Well, while a literal time machine obviously doesn't exist, we're unpacking some source material today that argues you can achieve basically the exact same result using a very specific framework.
And this is such an interesting framework, too.
It really is. So, welcome to today's deep dive. We are diving into a session from Markel's Hustlers 10-minute-a-day challenge, specifically Strong 61, Day 2. And what makes this session so compelling is that, well, it is not your standard corporate strategy guide at all.
Far from it.
Yeah, Markel's looking at the explosive, often intimidating rise of artificial intelligence, and he is grounding it in old-fashioned hard work and a very strict code of personal ethics. He is essentially claiming that your moral compass is like the only reliable algorithm left.
Which is such a bold stance, especially when you look at how the tech industry is currently operating. I mean, we are in an era where the prevailing advice is to move fast, break things, and just let the software handle the heavy lifting,
Right, the whole hustle smarter, not harder tech bro mantra.
Exactly. But Markel takes this massive global technological shift and filters it through a highly personal binary lens of decision-making. He builds a really compelling case that your mindset, specifically how you handle friction, is the only guardrail keeping you from making catastrophic, unrecoverable errors.
So let's start with that baseline mindset. Because before we can even touch on AI or ethics, you have to look at how you process the daily friction you just mentioned.
Yeah, that foundation is crucial.
Markel points out something that I think everyone listening can immediately validate. We are just constantly bombarded, and not bombarded with lottery winnings or easy wins either. We are bombarded with hurdles, algorithm changes, client issues, and technical failures.
Just daily fires to put out.
Exactly, every single day.
And he argues that the way you interpret that bombardment dictates your survival. I mean, most people view adversity as this destructive force, right? Something that is actively trying to break them or push them out of the market.
Yeah, it feels personal sometimes.
It does. But Markel's philosophy requires what he calls a positive mindset switch. You have to entirely reframe those challenges. They are not designed to break you. They're designed to test you.
Huh.
Yeah, they're diagnostic tools. When a system breaks, it is just exposing a weakness in your operation that you now have the opportunity to fortify.
I love that. And that reframe, I think, is the gateway to this concept of time travel we talked about earlier. Markel leans really heavily into the value of training and mentorship here.
He does, yeah.
And look, let's be honest, when you hear the word webinar or corporate training, the immediate reaction is to just check your phone, right? It sounds like a sterile, boring lecture.
Oh, 100%. Eyes glaze over immediately.
Exactly. But he completely flips the script on why you should be in those rooms. You aren't there to take notes on theory. You are there to connect with someone who stood at the exact same crossroads you're facing, made the disastrous choice to, as Markel puts it, go left, and live to warn you about it.
By framing every daily choice as a binary left or right, he drastically simplifies the cognitive load of running a business. Going left represents the wrong path, the unethical shortcut, the lazy choice.
Right.
And going right is the path of discipline, growth, and integrity. When you listen to a mentor, you are essentially downloading their failure data.
Downloading failure data. That is a great way to put it.
Yeah, they're telling you, look, I went left, it cost me half my revenue and my sanity. Do yourself a massive favor and go right.
It actually makes me think of how we navigate traffic with an app like Waze. Like, when you pull up Waze for a commute, we are literally relying on the misery of the drivers who are a few miles ahead of us.
Well, it is so true.
Right. They took a certain route, they hit the bumper-to-bumper gridlock, and the app uses their pain to reroute us safely around it. Markel is suggesting you use business mentors the exact same way. You leverage their left turns to ensure your own right turns.
And if we dig into the psychology of why that Waze analogy is so vital, it comes down to mitigating decision fatigue.
Okay, unpack that a little bit.
Well, as a professional, you are making hundreds of micro decisions every single day. The human brain consumes a massive amount of energy just evaluating variables. If you have to evaluate the ethical and strategic implications of every single choice from scratch, your prefrontal cortex gets totally exhausted.
And that's when you make stupid mistakes, right?
Exactly. You start making impulsive short-term choices just to relieve the pressure.
Yeah.
Having a strict left or right heuristic, backed by the map of someone who has actually been there, physically saves your brain energy.
And Markel is clearly practicing what he preaches here, too. In this session, he celebrates hitting a massive milestone, 300 consistent live streams, in what he calls the hustle-verse.
Which is just an insane level of output.
Totally insane, especially considering he was just celebrating 250 streams like 10 weeks prior. He is relentlessly showing up, and he explicitly admits that he knows his own personality.
He knows his triggers.
Right. He knows the temptations waiting for him if he drops his focus, like hitting the club or getting distracted by the streets. So he has had to actively choose to go right over 300 times to avoid those left turns.
Which perfectly illustrates the neuroscience of compounding choices, really.
How so?
Well, choosing to go right isn't a one-and-done event. Every single time Markel chooses to prep for a live stream instead of going to the club, he is literally reinforcing a specific neural pathway in his brain.
Wow.
Yeah, the myelin sheath around those neurons gets thicker, which makes the signal travel faster. In practical terms, it means the 300th time he chooses discipline, it requires significantly less willpower than the first time did. The habit just becomes the default architecture of his brain.
That is fascinating. So If keeping your mindset tuned to going right is the baseline, how does that hold up when you introduce a variable that completely changes the rules of gravity?
You mean AI?
Exactly, because choosing right over left is pretty straightforward when you are just deciding between working or partying. But what happens when you are handed a piece of technology so powerful that going left could make you wildly rich overnight, but at a hidden systemic cost?
That is the modern dilemma, isn't it? And it brings us right to the core of Markel's session. During his stream, he zooms in on a Canva document to reveal a 5-word guiding principle.
And what are those 5 words?
It is deceptively simple. Always keep your morals intact.
I mean, it sounds like something you'd read on a motivational poster in a break room until he applies it to the most disruptive force in the market today, artificial intelligence.
Right, so context is everything.
Yeah, he brings up an article discussing how OpenAI was pausing work on a ChatGPT update over fears that it was simply too dangerous.
When a company developing a trillion-dollar technology hits the brakes because they are afraid of their own product, the market definitely takes notice.
Oh, for sure.
But Markel strips away the whole doomsday sci-fi narrative and grounds it in a very practical analogy. He compares AI to a knife.
A knife. Okay.
Yeah, think about it. A knife, at its core, is just a piece of forged metal. It has absolutely no intent. In the hands of a master chef, it is a magnificent tool. It is used to prepare ingredients with precision, plate a meal beautifully, and ultimately because the presentation and taste are so premium, that chef can command a premium price.
So the tool creates immense value.
Yes, exactly.
But the object hasn't changed. Only the hands holding it have. Because in the wrong hands, that exact same piece of metal is a deadly weapon. Markel's making the point that ChatGPT, or any advanced large language model, is just the modern-day knife.
Right.
The danger isn't hidden in the code itself. The danger is the human operating the prompt.
Exactly. And this leads to a phenomenon known in economics as the tragedy of the commons.
Right, where a few bad actors ruin it for everyone.
Precisely. They abuse a shared public resource until it is completely ruined. Markel predicts that because a minority of users lack that moral compass, because they want to use AI to go left, generate deepfakes, scam people, or cut corners unethically, companies like OpenAI are forced to intervene. They literally have to restrict the tool.
Wait, I have to stop you there because this is where I get frustrated as a user. I mean, if the AI is just neutral code like the knife, why should OpenAI or any tech company lock it away?
It is frustrating, I know.
It feels like a hardware store putting all their kitchen knives inside a bank vault just because one guy might do something stupid with one. Why does the chef have to suffer?
It is intensely frustrating, and Markel completely acknowledges that reality. He even asks rhetorically on the stream if knives should be locked behind glass in stores, concluding that, sadly, maybe they should be for safety.
Which is wild to think about.
It is. But mechanically, here is why tech companies lock the AI away.
I spent years asking heaven, what am I supposed to do? Searching every distant mountain for a different point of view. Read another book, chased another map somebody drew. Thinking purpose wore a name tag I'd eventually run into. And one morning while creating, time quietly disappeared. Hours walked right past me, but somehow never left me tired. Funny how the work that fed my soul never felt like work. Even when it asked for every ounce of what I had first, I thought I was building songs, the songs were building me. Thought I was finding purpose, purpose had been finding me. The work found me long before I knew my name. Every little step I took was another spark becoming flame. The work found me, I just kept showing up each day.
It's a process called RLHF reinforcement, learning from human feedback. Developers actively train the AI to refuse certain prompts.
So they build in safeguards.
Yes, they build invisible fences into the code because the systemic risk of an AI generating, say, a bioweapon recipe or executing a massive financial fraud threatens the existence of the company itself. You cannot design open systems for the best of us. You have to design constrained systems to mitigate the worst of us.
So because of that tiny virus of bad actors, the good people, the chefs who just want to prep a great meal for their clients, inevitably end up with a stripped-down, heavily nerfed version of the technology. The guardrails basically punish the innovators.
They really do. But Markel takes it a step further to explain why your personal morals matter, even when using the nerfed versions of these tools.
Okay, why is that?
He discusses the concept of energy transfer, which, in business terms, translates to algorithmic and reputational equity.
Ah, I see.
If you abandon those 5 words, if you don't keep your morals intact, and you use AI to flood the market with low-effort, spammy content just to get a quick win, you were generating negative equity.
And the market always corrects itself. I mean, we are already seeing this happen.
Oh, absolutely. Everywhere.
If you use AI to churn out 1,000 poorly researched blog posts to game Google's search results, you might get a temporary spike in traffic. But eventually, the platform updates its algorithm, it recognizes the low-effort spam, and it penalizes your entire domain.
Yep, the hammer drops.
You don't just lose the temporary traffic, you lose the baseline trust you spent years building. The unethical left turn completely destroys your foundation.
Maintaining personal ethics is not just some philosophical luxury anymore. It is a structural requirement for survival. In an era where technology can amplify your output by a factor of 10, it also amplifies your flaws and your unethical shortcuts by a factor of 10. The consequences arrive faster and hit way harder.
Which perfectly sets up a massive collision with how AI is actually being sold to the public right now. Markel draws a huge line in the sand here, and it centers around an upcoming training hosted by his own business partner, Wayne Crow.
This part is so fascinating.
It is. The training is scheduled for 2:00 p.m. EST, and the title is an absolute masterclass in tapping into modern internet marketing desires.
What's the title again?
It is called The Lazy Affiliate's Way to More Commissions. Let AI do the work.
Wow. It is brilliant copywriting, honestly, because it promises the ultimate dream. The marketing bullet points offer no new traffic, no new skills, no grind. It speaks directly to human lethargy.
And Markel reads this pitch on his live stream and delivers a brutal, incredibly honest critique of his partner's framing. He absolutely hates the word lazy.
I can imagine.
Yeah, he fundamentally rejects the premise of no new skills and no grind. Think about it. This is a guy who just forced himself to do 300 consecutive live streams. Telling him he doesn't need to grind is practically an insult to his entire methodology.
It is a total clash between an extractive mindset and a growth mindset.
Unpack that difference for us.
Well, the lazy affiliate pitch treats technology as a replacement for personal development. It asks, how much value can I extract from the market while contributing the absolute minimum?
Right.
But Markel believes that if you stop acquiring new skills, you lose your competitive moat. If an AI can do your job with 0 new skills required from you, it can do that exact same job for your competitors.
And that leads to total market saturation. If everyone has the same lazy AI and nobody is building new skills, the profit margins just drop to 0.
Precisely. If the tool does all the work, the tool holds all the value. Markel's ethos demands that you use technology not as a replacement for human effort, but as an amplifier of human potential.
Wait, I hear that, but let's be real for a second. Isn't the entire historical point of technology to eventually do the work for us?
Well, yes and no.
I mean, we invented the washing machine so we didn't have to spend hours scrubbing clothes on rocks, right? We invented tractors so we didn't have to pull plows by hand. If the technology exists to do the work, where's the actual line between smart leverage and toxic laziness?
That is a great question. The line is drawn by what you choose to do with the time and energy you save. Markel is not a Luddite. He doesn't want you washing clothes on rocks either.
Okay, fair enough.
He wants you to use AI to do the heavy lifting. That is the leverage. But toxic laziness is using that leverage so you can clock out at noon and just sit on the couch.
Right, doing nothing.
Yeah. Smart leverage is using the time you save to elevate the quality of your business, to refine your strategy, and to solve more complex problems for your clients.
He calls it the domino effect in the session. It is a really beautiful way to visualize it. If AI frees up your schedule, your moral obligation is to use that extra capacity to go out and help 10 new people.
Exactly.
And because you are providing such high value, those 10 people are empowered to go help 10 more people. Suddenly, your leverage has positively impacted 100 people. You are still saving time on the mundane tasks, but your output has scaled exponentially.
It is the difference between using the chef's knife to quickly hack apart a frozen dinner for yourself versus using that same knife to efficiently prep a feast for 100 guests.
Man, that is a perfect analogy.
The tool is identical. The time saved might even be identical. But the moral intent and the value created are worlds apart. And frankly, in a society that constantly markets laziness as a virtue and a status symbol, maintaining your work ethic is basically an act of rebellion.
It really is. And this brings us to a twist at the end of the session that I found just totally fascinating.
With the twist.
Yeah. Despite his utter disdain for the word lazy, despite shredding the whole no grind concept, Markel gives his audience a very specific call to action regarding Wayne Crow's training. He tells them, attend it anyway.
Which brings us full circle to the knife analogy again.
Exactly. Even if you despise the lazy framing, the training itself is the knife. It is the tool. Markel is arguing that you cannot afford to be ignorant.
You have to know what's out there.
Yeah, you have to get in the room, hold the tool in your own hands, and understand its capabilities. You need to see exactly what the machine can do. Only then can you decide with your own intact morals whether to use it like a master chef building a feast or a villain looking for a quick hit.
Because ignorance is not a moral high ground. You cannot be truly ethical if you are simply unaware of the forces shaping your industry.
Right. Burying your head in the sand doesn't make you a good person.
No, it just makes you vulnerable.
Yeah.
Markel is saying you might even need to learn how the weapon works, just so you know how to defend your own business against it when bad actors try to use it against you.
So he pushes his listeners to take action. He tells them to access the megalink in what he refers to as the most valuable document in online marketing, or to simply comment the word hustle on his live stream to get the link sent to them.
And he adds some bonuses in there too, right?
He does. Because he wants to reinforce that positive mindset switch, he sweetens the deal by throwing in over $97 in exclusive motivational and skill-building bonuses. He is doing everything he can to give them the map so they don't have to experience the pain of going left themselves.
He is basically offering to be their personal Waze app. He is handing over the map, providing access to the tool, and supplying the psychological bonuses required to keep their mindset resilient. He is doing all the heavy lifting to help them navigate safely.
And that brings this all directly to you listening to this deep dive right now. Take a look at the landscape of whatever industry you're in.
It is shifting so fast.
So fast. AI and technology are accelerating at a pace that is frankly dizzying. The platforms you rely on today will likely change by next quarter. The algorithms will shift, the required skill sets will evolve, and the entire definition of what constitutes work is being rewritten in real time.
When the external environment is that volatile, the only true north you possess is your internal compass. The software will always keep changing.
That's a given.
But the directive to always keep your morals intact is the only reliable metric that guarantees these powerful new tools won't accidentally steer your reputation or your long-term equity off a cliff. Your ethics are literally your ultimate competitive advantage.
It is the only way to ensure that when you look 5 years into the future, you are actually seeing a destination you want to arrive at. So, as we wrap up this deep dive, we want to leave you with a question to mull over the next time you sit down at your desk.
A little homework.
Exactly. We started by talking about the superpower of seeing the future, so let's look ahead. If an artificial intelligence is eventually built that can do 100% of your current daily tasks with absolute zero effort on your part, how will you redefine your own grind to ensure you are still adding unique, irreplaceable value to the world?
That is the ultimate test of the mindset switch right there. If the machine does the work, what is your unique human contribution going to be?
It is a heavy question, but it's the one that separates the lazy affiliates from the master chefs. Keep those morals intact, keep building new skills, and keep going right.
Woke up to silence, dreams still heavy. Phone screen dry, but my vision stays steady. Mama said, baby, that job ain't your lane. But I clocked in anyway, chasing someone else's gain. That got me dancing with denial at night. Scrolling for hope, but it's hidden from sight. 10 minutes a day, sounded small at first. But in silence, even whispers can quench a thirst. Notebook in hand, wrote my future in ink. Mapped out my mission before I started to sink. Every post was a prayer, every share had weight. I wasn't selling a link, I was shifting fate. I found my rhythm in the quietest place, where hustle meant healing and grind meant grace. From the corner of doubt, I carved my space. Legacy ain't loud, but it wins the race. 10 minutes a day, brick by brick, built from the bottom, now the vision stick. No hype, no cap, just clarity. This ain't just income, it's legacy. Every click, every song I create etches my name where they can't erase. You can doubt, but you gon' see. 10 minutes a day turned into legacy. People laugh, said she doing too much. Till my PayPal pinged and they changed up the touch. No big brand, no six-figure crew, just a mic, some lyrics, and a dream that grew. Tired of waiting for the gatekeeper's call, so I built my own stage, held my own hall. Suno on deck, that's the beat in my chest. GPT spitting like I'm born to impress. Said I'd never make it, cool, noted. But now my bars turn pain into coated. From broken to branded, I ain't asked for fame, I asked for freedom and I claim my name now. Hustle berry on loop like healing chants, for the girls who grew up with limited chance. This is more than a challenge, it's breaking the chain. Cause 10 minutes a day rewired my brain. 10 minutes a day, brick by brick, built from the bottom, now the vision stick. No hype, no cap, just clarity. This ain't just income, it's legacy. Every click, every song I create etches my name where they can't erase. You can doubt, but you gon' see. 10 minutes a day turned into legacy. Now my daughter sees me different, eyes full of fire. She said, Ma, your words lift me higher. This ain't a hustle, this a heart-led path, where math meets message and message meets math. Community over clicks, value over hype. I ain't here to trend, I'm here to type blueprints for the ones still stuck in fear. Let them borrow my belief till their purpose clear. Haters still quiet, but I'm loud with grace. Posting in peace, not a mask on my face. Every bar I drop, every beat I write, I'm freeing the ones with the pain they hide. 10 minutes ain't much, but it changed my name, turned struggle into strength, and broke the